Not all Bakersfield zip codes are created the same. Some offer more affordable housing, some have appreciated faster over the last years than others, some actually continue to experience significant growth, and some actually have seen some kind of decline. However, in this video, I'm breaking down every major zip code so you can decide which area fits you best with your long-term goals. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share this video. Hi everyone, my name is Moises Rosales with the Home Expansion Real Estate team, and today here I'm breaking down every zip code here in Bakersfield. I'm breaking down every major Bakersfield zip code so you can decide which area fits your budget and your long-term goal. Now, there isn't a perfect zip code. There is only the zip code that's perfect for your goals and what you're looking for. We'll look at every major zip code and answer these 5 questions. What's the average home price? How much have home values changed year over year? What's the population per zip code? Who is this zip code best for? And what should buyers know before purchasing there? So let's break this down. The average home price value per zip code. So let's start with the 93313. If you can see here, the average price was about $418,000. For the 93311, we're at $478,000. For the 93314, we're roughly about $581,000. 93312, $461,000. You got the 93309, which is $351,000. And part of the 93308 is roughly about $351,000. And that's west. Right now we went over the west of the 99. So let's get into the east of the 99, which is again 93308, $351,000 average price point and above. Right? Average price for the 93306 is about $352,000. 93305, we're under $271,000. 93301 is $317, right? 93304 is $299. 93307, you're roughly about $322,000. So let's talk a little bit about year over year appreciation. If you notice, you'll see the different zip codes here, and they give you guys a certain percentage of appreciation year over year. You'll notice that some areas are showing appreciation year over year, while others are showing less, right, or declining year over year. So let's start again with the west of the 99. We see that there is a small percentage of decline in appreciation year over year. Typically in Bakersfield, we experience about a good 3% year over year. But obviously this year, you can see that the appreciation in the 933 is roughly about negative 0.7%, and the 933 about negative 1%, 93304 0.1%, and the 93312 about 0.5%, 93309 is about 0.6%. West of the 99, obviously every zip code has seen some kind of decline in appreciation year over year. Now, what does this mean? It just means, I mean, for me, west of the 99 being where most of the inventory is, where most of the growth is at, a lot of the new constructions, a lot of the newer homes, a lot of the newer communities, obviously a lot of traffic, a lot of growth there. So year over year, we do see that there's a small decline because as a whole, right, the market has, the last since 2024 has been a different type of market. So we're seeing a small depreciation year over year. So if you bought a home in 2024, and in October of 2024 is when we experienced the highest interest rate. So if you bought a home back in before October of 2024 to now, you can see that appreciation year over year has been very slight to none. Okay, now let's head over to the east part of Bakersfield, east of the 99, 93307, negative 0.2%. We're at 93306, negative 0.4%, 93301, negative 0.3%, 93304, negative 0.5%. Only area that has seen appreciation year over year at 2.7%. Now, why is that? I'm going to be honest, because if you go back to the home average, it's about $271,000. Guys, $271,000 is like the new Bakersfield entry level price point. So for me, in a market that we're experiencing, we're seeing a lot of first time home buyers. And in this price point, a lot of the entry level home buyers are actually still purchasing, or this is their window to purchase. And that's why I feel like we see the 9305 with an increase of 2.7%, because a lot of the first time home buyers are shopping in that price point, that entry level price point, and they're finding homes in this zip code more than any of the other ones. Now, as we enter population for me is important because it allows me to talk about types of families, professionals, retirees, luxury buyers. This is what populations approximately in all of the zip codes. The ninth, let's start again west of the 99, 93313 is at 61,843,000 people. 93311, we're at 55,555. 9334414, 35, right? 93312, 58, right? And the 93309 as 63,217. So look, 933 has the most population than most of the west of the 99 population. I feel because it's more of the established neighborhood, right? It's closer to what I like to call like the area where most people have been the longest in the west of the 99. As we continue to grow into these areas, we obviously see that the population is catching up because Bakersfield did kind of grow from the 93309 to the 93313 and now growing to the 93311 as well as the 93314. Those are the areas that we're growing into. So as we continue to grow, those populations will increase. But again, west of the 93309 is kind of like the oldest zip code in the 933 or in the west of the 99. Now, as we head over to the east part of Bakersfield, right, in the 93308, we have about 55,000 people. 93306, 74,000 people. 93305, 3701, we're at 13. 04, 51, and then the oh 07, 85,000. So Southeast Bakersfield leading with the most population than most of the other zip codes. And for me, I think because of the reason here is you're so connected to out cities like Arvin, Lamont, and other areas out here that most people will, live here and work in these areas, in this area because of the, Bakersfield has a lot of, it's rich in agricultural, right? So I feel like those areas, that's where you can see most of the population. A lot of ranch farms, ranch style homes in these areas. So again, established neighborhoods, been here for a very long time. And obviously this is where, the growth started before we started growing into these other zip codes. So Bakersfield is continuously growing in neighborhoods. So yeah, you'll find new construction in the 93313, 911, as well as the 14, and then you will find them over here in the oh 06, as well as some here in the oh 07, right, which is kind of closer over here, right? That's where you're seeing a lot of the new construction. Luxury, obviously, luxury is depending on the individuals, but, country clubs, we do have a couple country clubs here in town. We have one in the 93309, which is Stockdale Country Club. We have 13311, which is the Seven Oaks Country Club. Also other communities like Highgate, Belcourt, right, Windermere, in these areas that have, luxury homes. And then obviously we also have North East Bakersfield. We have the Bakersfield Country Club as well as the Rio Bravo Country Club out here in the 93306, and some luxury properties like, SNS Homes or even, Juliana Gardens, and as well as, City of the Hills, luxury homes out there. So a lot of opportunity in those areas. Doesn't mean that there ain't no luxury here in downtown Bakersfield. There is a nice little area called Westchester, right, area. It's an amazing community where, there's definitely some luxury homes in there as well. Costco's and stores. We do have a couple Costco's in town. We have one here in the 933 or 933 12. We have one in the 93312. We have a Costco there as well as a 93313. I know that there's plans to bring another Costco, hopefully in the 93306. Different targets: 93306, 93312, 93313 now. So that we have a third target now in town, and we're continuously to grow with those. A lot of gated communities throughout every zip code, from 55 and over communities to obviously gated HO with the great amenities. A lot of great parks here in town, from Highgate to Belcourt Park to you have the Riverwalk, or in the 93311 to obviously, Hard Park in the 06, and also 93313 you have the the soccer fields out here. a lot of great restaurants, obviously, in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is known for food. You're going to find a lot of like the great restaurants here in the 9331 along Stockdale Highway. You're going to have a great corridor there of food and restaurants, as well as in the downtown area. You're going to find a lot of amazing downtown food and vibes. Those are going to be like your major areas. We're going to have a lot of restaurants and food as well. Now, I always get this question. The question is, which zip code do I recommend? Now, it's always going to depend on what you're looking for. 93306 northeast part of Bakersfield, you're going to have a lot more mountain, a lot more hills, a lot more elevation, where versus if you move over to the west of the 99, 93311, 113, and 14, it's a lot more flatter, right? So it really depends. Are you looking for views, hilltop views, amazing, sunsets, then these areas are going to have some amazing views versus flat, right? More flat, bigger lots as well, luxury homes in these areas, right? It really depends on, the individual and what they want, right? Uphills, bluffs, and more flat land kind of going into these areas here. Okay, the 907, the 13, the 11, the 14, 12. And then as you go into the areas, you're going to have a little bit more, again, elevation, mountains, views, rivers. And as you kind of climb up the 08, you're going to have more mountain views as well. Someone that sells homes every single week here in Kern County, specifically in Bakersfield. Again, it really depends, what you're looking for. For me, you want something newer, then you're going to have to go west of the 99. This is where the growth is happening, a lot of the new construction homes. And this is where I feel a lot of people are moving to. And as we can see, continue the population growing because a lot of expansion, right? If you're somebody that likes a little bit more newer homes, and the west is your area. If you're looking at something with a little bit more style, a little bit more self, characteristics of a home, vintage, historic, then obviously south or central or even northeast Bakersfield, where you're going to find more of those style homes, right? You have areas like Alta Vista. You have places like, so many different areas in the 01 and the 05 where you're going to find those historic homes with a lot of elevations and views, a lot more flat land in these areas. It really just depends. We do have a lot of out of town buyers coming into Bakersfield. About 52% of our buyers right now in Bakersfield are out of town. So obviously when they come in here from areas like LA and all those areas, they see brand new homes or homes even built in 2000 or in the 90s. They get excited because, obviously they come from areas where homes were built in 1942. Right now, doesn't mean that we don't have that. We also do have homes that have been built in 1942, like in the 06, 05, 01, 04, right? Or even on the 08, you're going to find those type of homes as well. But as you go into these areas, obviously you're going to find, homes from the 1990s, 2000s, 2010, 20s, right? You're going to find those homes in this area. So it really just depends, right? For me, one of the most affordable zip codes in Bakersfield, I already shared with you guys, I feel like right now is the 93305, where there's a lot of movement happening, right? Entry level homes, 271,000. Again, where do you find homes in California for 270,000? Now, number two will be the 93307, which is 322, where you're going to find something newer. Now, it's a little bit more expensive than 04. However, though, you're going to find something newer than you will find something in the 04 area, even though the price is just a little bit higher than that, right? So if you want something newer, 93307 is definitely a place. The second place that I recommend, right? But again, if you're looking for style, if you're looking for newer, if you're looking for up and coming neighborhoods, shopping, outdoor entertainment, restaurants and grocery stores, and the 13, the 11, and the 14, and the 12 is kind of where the growth is really, really happening for new constructions, right? Appreciation, again, the 05 was the one that we saw. Doesn't mean, though, that you won't grow year over year in these areas, right? I think that these areas will also show growth and do show growth depending on something. Right now, if you buy something, a brand new construction, you might not see appreciation over the next 2-3 years because of the current state of the market. But if you buy something that was built in 2000, doesn't mean you will see appreciation in the next couple of years. We've always seen appreciation year over year in Bakersfield until this year, and typically we see about 3 to 5% appreciation year over year. Value wise, you really can start looking at homes and kind of see the difference, right? Where If you wanted to buy something at 350,000 in the Southwest, where you can find, homes at 350,000 versus a home in 350,000 in the '06, it's going to be a major difference from square foot to the amount of bedrooms to the size lot to the age of the home, and also features and benefits and upgrades that a home can offer. You can probably find something more upgraded, bigger, with more features and benefits in the '06 that you will find in the 1.3 for the same price. Same thing in the '07 and the 1.1, right? Obviously, there's a big price for jump. You could go from 322 to 478. And even within 1.3 and the 1.1, right? I think that even the latest stat is that there's almost $100,000 difference between these two zip codes, right? Because now we're going from tract homes to more of semi to custom homes as well in the 1.1. So obviously, that's where you see the big jump in value as well. So if you're looking for luxury custom homes, then the 1.1 is for you. If you're looking for more newer tract homes, right, then the 1.3 is your area, as well as the 1.4. But in the 1.4, you can also find custom estates, right? I think that estates is where you find them in the 1.4. You don't really find them in the 1.1, but you do find them in the 1.4, 933 1.4. That's where you see the big jump in price. I've seen estates as, when they, where they have, three homes in one big estate, right? I know that, I don't think he lives there anymore, but even the previous Raider quarterback, lived in the 1.4 in an estate there as well, right? Both brothers, lived in the 1.4 in the States as well, right? Here in the 9.3, 1.2, and the 1.4 is where you see the big jump. Again, more tract homes versus custom or semi-custom or even custom homes is the difference there. Now, there isn't a perfect zip code. There is only the zip code that's perfect for your goals and what you're looking for, right? And also based on your desirabilities on features and benefits. Now, if you're somebody that's looking for hospitals, either because you work there, looking to work there, or just because you like to be close to hospitals, there are a couple major hospitals in town. There's a couple zip codes that are not in proximity of a close hospital. One of them being the 93307, right? The 8, right, it's another one. And the '06, we do have a couple hospitals in this area that you can definitely have access to. But if you're living deep in the '06, then you have to travel, as well as the '08, as well as the '07. You're gonna have to travel to a couple different hospitals in the downtown central area or southwest of Bakersfield, which will be in the 93311. That's where you're gonna find most of your major hospitals. So at the end of the day, there isn't one single best zip code in Bakersfield. The best area is the one that fits your budget, your lifestyle, your commute, and your long-term goals. Some zip codes may offer lower price points, others may offer strong home value growth, new construction, larger lots, or access to specific amenities. It is understanding the difference before making a decision. If you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, or relocating to Bakersfield, reach out to me at the Home Expansion Real Estate Team. We will love the opportunity to give you and compare different areas, review the numbers, and build a strategy that makes sense for you. Comment below and tell me which Bakersfield zip code you want me to break down in greater detail next. And make sure that you subscribe, because we will continue to cover Bakersfield neighborhoods, market updates, new construction, home prices, and everything you need to know before making your next move. And remember, do not choose a home based on a price alone. Choose the location, the lifestyle, and the long-term value that aligns with your life and what you're trying to build. Comment below your favorite zip code so far. Which Bakersfield zip code do you want me to break down next?